Thank you. All right, so welcome to tonight's session where we are going to be talking about demystifying digital asset auditing, and the boys will take you through that. Let's just go through a quick little agenda for tonight. Matt and myself are going to be going over our normal kind of introductions. Then we're going to be inviting up Hashlock to do their presentation. We got some quizzes and some prizes, so please stay awake, be engaged, and you can win. And then we'll do some more networking. So who is All Things Blockchain? All Things Blockchain, most of you know. I'm not going to harp on about it, but just out of curiosity, is anybody new here in the room? Well, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We were founded in November 2020. We're a nonprofit association. We've grown to be one of the largest grassroots communities and one of the most active here based in Brisbane. But we are going global. We've got some upcoming events that we'll share with you in just a moment. Since inception, we've hosted over 160 events. I'm not going to go through all of that, but if you want to, you can sign up to our paragraph. Where we actually don't have a newsletter, we call it like a community hub letter, and we have all of the events, not just ATB, what's happening also nationally and globally. So if you want to know what's going on, what events, past and upcoming, please go ahead and register. I'd like to give a big shout out to our team. Even though I was the initial one of the founders, I wouldn't be here without this amazing team, so I always like to acknowledge them for all their hard work. The food, the drinks, the AV, the everything doesn't just magically appear, so thank you to all of them. Yes, give them a round of applause. Fantastic, I like that. All right, if you were here last month, Nick told you, we're launching this community hub. We got a little ambitious, kind of like we were launching a meme token, and then we realized, you know what? We're just going to stick with education. So we have kind of changed our focus a little bit, and it's not a community hub, it's an education hub. So for those that are new or very kind of new into this industry, this is where they go. If you have a family friend or somebody that wants to get started, you can refer them here. We're doing an 8-week live boot camp at the moment. I'm delivering the Web3. Renee is delivering the crypto. It's all the basics. So this will be ongoing. We actually have a whole bunch of sponsors that we're currently in discussions with, and there'll be a whole bunch of different educational content coming out from what are smart contracts and why are they so important to trading, to demystifying NFTs, etc. So please share that with anybody if you know that they need to learn. Always a shout out for contributors. ATB is growing. We're going globally. We've already said that tonight we need help with X amount of things, and the list is growing. I think we've actually just onboarded 2 new people this week, and we always need help. So anybody that's interested, please let us know. Big shout out to all of our sponsors. These events wouldn't happen without them. The food, the drinks. Matt's very excited. All right, Matt, go give it away. Yeah, these events wouldn't happen, the overhead costs, everything, and tonight specifically is being brought to you by Hashlock, and we really value them because we can be community builders, we can be on the ground, we can be doing these, but we need the backing of our sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, we'd like to welcome 2 new sponsors. Nexa, which is a layer 1 chain, if you haven't heard of it, and Earnscape, which is a rewards platform for any gamers in the room. Mobile gamers, so apparently you can earn points and then turn them into stable coins. So these are some of our overseas partners that we are working with. So we are very excited to start expanding and be working with some global companies. We're also collaborating. There's going to be some more noise coming out on what we're doing with Stand With Crypto. I know that we did an event with him at the start of the year. We got some more things that we're working with him on the pipeline. Literally as I was walking in the door, there was the chat going off, so it's very excited. So stay tuned for some of those updates. Of course, Matt's going to be talking about the Australian Crypto Convention in a moment. Our newsletter, this is the one that I was talking about, if you're not already registered, where we list all of our upcoming events, past events. So go ahead and you can register. We do that on the 1st of every month. Big shout out to Queensland. This is the building. So this is a government building, and we wouldn't also be able to put on these amazing events without their support. So we always like to acknowledge them and their contribution. Also, we like to give a big shout out to Pitcastle, who makes us be able to live stream these events. Let's give a big shout out to everyone online. Hello, everyone. We decided with ATB that we really wanted, how are we going to grow outside of Brisbane, and we thought live streaming. And if anybody tries to deal with AV and me, you know that we're like oil and water. So I'm very, very grateful that we have somebody here to help us. So that's enough for me. I'm going to hand it over to Matt, and he's going to tell you about our events.
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks, everyone. All right, let's talk events. I think the left-hand mic is picking me up. My name's Matt Hooper. I think most of you know me. So just launched is our next in-person event. We do these every month. For those of you who don't know us, we're here every first Tuesday from 5:30 at the precinct. And next month, we've been building up to this one for a while. This is a session with, who knows, Craig and Greenie. Does anybody know Craig and Greenie in the room? They've got like 30,000 Twitter followers, these guys. They do a daily trading show where they break down what's happened overnight in the US and etc. And they're going to be doing some backtrack trades, showing how you can use the OKX platform to trade. We're also going to be graced by the presence of the DECA CEO, Amy Rose Goody, who's going to be speaking about industry developments in a fireside chat with someone from OKX to be nominated. We've got so many events coming up, we can't we haven't got time to put them all on a single slide each. So we've got a roadshow coming up. Danielle and I are variously going to be traveling, and hopefully some others of us, between cities. So I won't go through them all, but we do have events. I think we're up to 3 events in the one day, possibly 4 now, in Singapore on Tuesday, September 30. We've got events coming up in Singapore on the sidelines of Token 2049. At ACC, look out for a pre-conference events. That's the crypto convention, which I'll talk about in a minute. And we're also putting on an event the night before the Blockies, which is in Melbourne the week following. So all of this, the reason I don't need to go through it all is you can find it on our Luma. So we're really pushing all these events on our Luma, and the QR code is available there for you, and that'll be on tonight's recording as well. Upcoming online events, so those who are on in person, we also run online events, of which we do at least 12 a year, sometimes probably more, and I'll highlight a couple more of those in a minute. To note, Danielle's running the Web3 bootcamp that's running through Evolve Her at the moment. That's every Monday and Wednesday night. That's kicked off, what are we in, the second week? Second week now, and it's running for 8 weeks. And I know a few of you, I think Martin and Margaret have been joining in on that one. So yeah, there's plenty of activity, better than watching mainstream TV of a night time, dare I say. There's a dad joke. Who was asking for a dad joke? I got a dad, oh, okay. Upcoming women's focused events. So Danielle's group is not called She Connects, but it's called Evolve Her. And apparently some people are starting to think of it as She Connects, but that's because she runs so many events that are called She Connects. And they are awesome. If you know Danielle, they're full of life. They're full of sort of some speed dating type networking, and usually a bit of champagne and bubbly as well. So lots of those coming up. Again, check out the Luma for Evolve Her, which is at that QR code. Fireside chat. Oh yeah, Paula from Hashlock, how could I omit? Oh dear, oh dear. That's why Danielle's here. So as part of what we do, someone asked me tonight, how did you meet the guys from Hashlock? And I said, look, you meet people and they just become your friends. And the Hashlock guys are so well networked and so well traveled. I honestly can't remember when or how I met them. And no, I wasn't drunk. It is that they just become sort of part of your, DNA in this space. And so it is with the connection with Paula, from whom we're going to hear in a minute. Actually, we're going to hear from Paula. She's the Hashlock project manager based out of Brazil, and we're going to hear from her. All that is to say, Danielle, being Danielle, has quickly latched onto the opportunity to have a one-on-one online event with her, and that's coming up on the 26th. As well. Really quickly to mention, it's only a week away now. You need to get your airplane ticket down to Queenstown. I called it Christchurch last month. It's actually Queenstown for the Crypto Winter, which is the industry conference that's been put on by Blockchain NZ, and a whole bunch of good sponsors have come on board from that. Everyone from Easy Crypto to Mexi to Pay It Now, really some serious quality industry level sponsors are going to be there. And of course you can go skiing before, during and after. Back to warmer climes in Melbourne, somewhat warmer in November. It should be a few degrees warmer for Oz CryptoCon. If you want to go down, you can get a 10% discount using our humble ATB10 coupon code there. That's coming up on the 22nd and 23rd of November. These will all be on the recording, and again, they're all on our Luma. The block, just to get the thought out there, the block is in Melbourne the week after ACC, and that's on the Friday night, the 28th of November. There's a few of the gang. Where's Rachel? Rachel's here somewhere. Oh, there she is. We're all the ladies looking rather dapper, and I might have had a couple of brews by the look of that photo. I'm not sure. At least I was feeling very happy when that photo was taken by the look of it. Maybe because I was dressed up. I think that's. That can't be. Where did my other slides go? Where did my event-based slides go, Danielle? Oh, I already did them. Oh, I wanted to talk for longer than that. Oh, let's get the guys from Hashlock up. It's Jock, Haslam, Fletcher Roberts, and Tom Tracy. Big round of applause.
Here we go. Hello, everybody. So we are Hashlock. Probably a lot of you have met us before, but if you don't know who we are one of the globally leading Web3 security auditing firms. So if you've heard of a smart contract auditing firm, that's what we do a lot of, but anything blockchain cybersecurity is what we do. Started in Australia with Jock and I over 3 years ago, and now we've quickly, and we started sort of just pretty much mostly doing Australian stuff, and now we have people all around the world. It's been an interesting journey. And you're going to hear some advice from Paula straight after this, right? So what, oh yeah, you go.
Yeah, so firstly, we tried to get Paula out here, but logistics, we couldn't get her because she's from Brazil. So we're gonna hear some words for her in a second, just about her experience moving into Web3 and joining Hashlock.
Hey guys, I'm Paula Perini. I'm from Brazil and I'm 24 years old. I first got into Web3 after working as a Web2 developer. I've been always passionate about technology and I was so curious about blockchain that I just started studying the smart contracts to better understand the security side of things. And the more I learned, the more I was interested in the challenge of the Web3. And eventually I transitioned to this space, and it's been now 5 months since I joined Hashlock. I usually start my day by replying to the clients, answering any questions they might have, and updating them on the progress of the audit. Then I checked our internal system to see if there's any new project. I also reach out to the auditors to discuss any technical points. And once the audit is completed, I review and adjust any final details needed to ensure the report is polished and ready to be delivered to the client. Well, it usually gets more complicated to manage projects with a larger scope, especially the ones we need to assign more than one auditor. So coordinating the team, maintaining a clear communication, and keeping everything on track requires extra attention, but those are also the projects that I learn and grow the most. That's the best part of working at Hashlock. The team is very skilled and always open to sharing knowledge. Despite working remotely, we have a great sense of teamwork and everyone is so approachable and eager to help. So it's a great environment to learn and evolve, and I'm really, really happy to be here. I would say dive into smart contracts, understand how it works, study real audit reports to understand how the vulnerabilities are identified, stay curious, join Web3 communities, follow open source projects, and don't be afraid to ask and be curious. Web3 is still an emergent space, so there is a lot of opportunities to learn, grow, and to make a real impact.
Thank you, Paula. That was awesome.
I hadn't seen that yet, which is pretty cool. Okay, cool. So yes, I've ran you through a little bit of this, but we are one of the leading security firms, as you already know. This slide was made a while ago, but we have done a bunch of stuff as we've sort of had our Web3 journey in terms of getting involved with a bunch of organizations like ATB. And there's some of our services. Now, we're going to show you a pretty cool service today that isn't on this slide and is completely free. And what that is going to be is probably on another slide. Right at the end. Okay. Okay, cool. Do I really need a security audit? Absolutely. Yes, you do. You will essentially definitely get hacked if you do not. And then here's just a bunch of our clients. So you might have heard of Peak Network, which is one of the larger RWA blockchains globally, or deep in, as you may call it. Immersive, which is a New Zealand-based MasterCard partner, which is quite significant of a client of ours. Algem, who is quite a large DeFi client of ours. Red Belly Network, another Australian L1 RWA, quite of a large L1 client. And then a bunch more. There's some of our biggest ones there as well.
Hello, got me, yeah. And shout out as well to Index in the audience as well. They're one of our clients. So the slides are old.
Yeah.
The moment you know you need to update your slide.
And we often get asked, do you work on insert blockchain, or do you work with this ecosystem? And we've essentially never said no. We like to make sure that we can service every industry. That's hard to do. That's challenging. You do need specialists. But that's a challenge for us to figure out and to help you with. And if you ever want process is like of getting an audit, we try to think of ourselves as the most collaborative firm in the industry. And primarily that involves 2 rounds of main reports. You've got the first internal report, and then we work towards the final report, and we talk to you the entire time as we work through that process. What makes us different? I don't know, other than what's on the slide. What do you guys think makes us different?
Hello? Yeah, here we go. I think what makes us different is we're always open with communication. It's not a transactional nature when it comes to getting an audit done. A lot of other firms, once you start the engagement, there's a long period of just not hearing anything, and then all of a sudden you get a report back, and there's not much communication. I think considering that we're dealing with security and trust, especially when you're doing this prior to launching, we need to make sure that as we come across any sort of vulnerabilities, we let you guys know so that you can start, and so that you don't see as getting an audit as this massive sort of roadblock in between launching.
Yeah, for me, I also see it as we've been able to, with our business model, we are able to reach, and we have the best security team on the market. We've been able to reach out to security auditors all across the globe and be able to obtain the best of the best. So I feel that allows us to provide top tier service.
Absolutely. I like this. We don't like to show off. That's so funny. Yes. INDX. You guys could help give us a live review. What do you think?
I was going to ask, as a show of hands, is anybody else building projects that could do with a Web3 cybersecurity audit? Like just a show of hands? Anybody else? I know Herman's building. Yeah, Herman's a UTX, so he's a layer 1. But from Index, let's hear a question or two. We're jumping into Q&A. We love to mix it up here. I call it ripping up the script.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, we've been around for a while, since about 2017, so we've dealt with a lot of auditors, namely, Certix, a lot of the really big guys, and, the Hashlock guys nailed it. They're way more personable. The conversation, the care that they go through, they're always, obviously being Aussie-based, but always been able to reach them. Fast communication's really great. And they also go, I felt, above and beyond. In our particular experience, we had quite a complex contract we thought it was, at least anyway. But they were, really helpful, and felt that they definitely went beyond the scope where, the auditors there were fast in responding to us, going, we changed the contract multiple times. They were able to go through, do additional reviews. I just felt the customer service was really great. The knowledge base was really great. And ultimately, we've launched with that contract now, and it's just started. It's got TVL in it. So, we've got absolute trust in the guys at the work and the work that they did. So I think it's been a great outcome, and we'll continue to use them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. What Dave said to finish off there is that this is just the beginning of the relationship. Just because the contract's complete doesn't mean that we're no longer sort of still engaging with each other. So that's incredible by itself, I think. a lot of the people you sort of engage with on this level is like the work's done, the relationship is over, but this is just ongoing, so it's great.
It is that, and that was not a paid spot. To my knowledge, the guys weren't handed a brown paper bag to turn up. But here's a question from Herman as well.
Hi. What PQC DSA would you recommend to minimize signature length but maximize performance or verification performance?
What do you reckon, Tom? No, I'm joking. No, unfortunately, we didn't bring any of our editors here, so we try not to answer questions that we can't answer, and we hire some of the best security researchers in the world, but you wouldn't want us three auditing your code or giving that sort of advice. But if you need it, we will put you in touch with the team, for sure.
Okay, thanks.
You seem like you are very deep into your build.
Well, do you guys do PQC auditing?
We try to audit everything.
Okay. So, look, have you familiar with any of the PQC sort of DSAs?
I'm not personally.
Okay.
What are you building, Herman? You're building a layer 1 from memory, aren't you? Or has that changed?
So, like post-quantum cryptography, PQC, DSA, digital signature algorithm. So that's the big move now because of what's happening with the whole quantum computing thing. Like there's potential that you could crack those keys. So I'm sure you guys will be getting a lot of that. So like the issue is like the challenge is to get a DSA that gives you a small signature length, because the problem with PQC DSA is that the signature length's like 10 times as big as normal signatures. So it kind of leads to blockchain bloat. So that's the big challenge. I'm just wondering like if you guys knew of a good algorithm to do that, because there isn't really one except for Sphinx, which is not really viable. So I just want to know what the industry was doing.
Oh, hello. Yep. So yeah, definitely. Like Fletcher was saying, we make no sort of promises that we're going to be the lead tech heads when it comes to this, but we utilize the best auditors in the space. So any new emerging techs, post-quantum cryptography, ZK, you name it, we just ensure that we get the best auditors that have a track history of auditing those protocols and platforms.
It is a really valid point that Herman raises, and I think the guys are underselling themselves. I know Jock is a computer science graduate and knows a bit more than maybe he's letting on here, but they're being diplomatic in public. But it is that, the post-quantum, there was an excellent talk given at the DECA conference on this, actually, and it is a really valid point that Herman raises, that this is, if not a threat, it's certainly something that, well, maybe it is, I don't know what the word is, but it needs something that needs to be given careful consideration anyway. But yeah, we morphed into a live Q&A there. So back to you guys, back to the deck or whatever you want to do next.
Back to the deck. We have something really cool to show you. Oh, actually, before that, Tom. You want to do Tom first, or do you want to do the?
I'll do Tom first. He's here. So yeah, Tom joined us how many months ago now, Tom?
Probably 3 to 4 months ago now.
So yeah, Tom's recently joined and came from like a traditional accounting background, but now he's out here helping us make sure that we don't do anything that's wrong and get in trouble, I guess. So yeah, we just thought we'd have some like questions for him, especially considering that, yeah, like Paula was saying, this is still an emerging tech. So we're hoping that we can get lots of people to come over from traditional avenues into Web3 and grow the space further. So yeah, to open the floor with Tom, as someone who transitioned from traditional accounting to Web3, what was the most surprising difference between the two worlds?
As Jock would be able to tell you, I was quite hesitant at the start. In traditional finance, it's structured, everything's set in stone. You follow accounting principles that are handed down from you from, I believe, my predecessor, my person who I learnt off, my old boss. He got his degree in 1970 or something like that, and I was taking on the notes and knowledge that he had. So moving into Web3, it's much different to a traditional financial space. You have everything's decentralized. It's much harder to track transactions. There's a lot more complexity, but I find it really engaging and really exciting. The spaces, it's great. And I feel there's a lot more to come with accounting in Web3. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And how would you say that your traditional background has helped and or hindered you in this process and learning?
Definitely. As I touched on just then, traditional accounting is very structured. There's one way to go about everything, and in a sense, that has helped me moving into Hashlock. We had a couple of things that we really needed to tighten up when I first moved in, and that was just due to the decentralized nature of this ecosystem. So moving in, I was able to use my past experience to really tighten the screws, but without the traditional accounting software. So carrying through those principles that I had was very significant in making a more structured and targeted approach within our accounting system. As much of you will probably know, accounting for any sort of transactions that you're doing in this ecosystem is quite tricky. So finding a way to do that within our system was quite challenging. But that prior knowledge and integrating that into what you boys have already built was great, and we were able to really slim it down and make sure we were doing the right things.
Yeah, awesome. And I like this one. This is a bit juicy. So could you walk us through a challenging scenario that you've encountered since joining us in terms of accounting at Hashlock?
There's been a few. As I touched on, we had a few issues that we needed to tighten up. So we definitely had them. A few different procedures that we needed to really tighten up, so then we didn't expose ourselves to anything deeper. But one of the most significant things is the international, being having to account for paying all of our staff internationally through stablecoins. So that was quite a significant jump from just transferring somebody their paycheck to now getting somebody's wallet address, loading up cryptocurrency and sending USDC to an Ethereum wallet that's going to somebody halfway across the world. But it was much more easier because it happens with not 3 days.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe for the last one, so looking ahead 5 years, Tom, how do you envision the integration of traditional accounting standards with the emergence of Web3 tech?
This one, having these questions earlier, I definitely had a good think about this. Accounting will be, I see a significant change coming forward 5 years down the track. Blockchain's so powerful that we'll be able to, as scary it is for me to say, I'll probably become irrelevant. It's all going to be AI-led. Everything's going to be automated. Accounting's going to have to shift from being data collection to data analysis. So I'm going to have to focus more on presenting that data to CEOs, directors, and stuff like that. But with the power of blockchain, accounting's going to be pretty much done for you. So you're going to have real-time data. So once somebody figures out how to get that real-time data into a traditional accounting system, it's going to be game over for people like me. But I
think we'll always have you around. Obviously, Tom wears many hats as he's sitting here front and center in stage. I think, we pulled him into a couple of events, and I think the line that he always says to us is, I didn't learn this in my accounting degree. So, yeah, we appreciate how he's a quick learner. So
yeah, I had to do some on-the-spot acting the other day for Jock and Fletcher, and yeah, they don't teach you that at finance school. So yeah, it's been good fun though. It's been a big shift, but it's exciting. Every day's challenging and learning so much. So that's a big thing.
Awesome. Cheers, mate.
Alrighty, now, we're going to do the demo first, maybe before the quiz. Yeah, let's do
the demo.
Yeah, we'll do a demo first.
So this is going to be something extremely. So we haven't announced this yet, and this might change the entire Web3 development and security industry. And I'm being serious. This actually could change the entire industry. So you guys are getting a sneak peek into something massive. This is.
Yeah, this is the alpha. Don't tell anyone, even though this is live stream, because we literally, I don't
We
think
were
we've
talking
people.
about setting a launch date this morning, so.
Yeah. So this isn't. Yeah. So yeah, I'll let sort of Fletch take it away, but super exciting sneak peek for our ATB crew.
So, as we've kind of mentioned a few times in this talk, the AI revolution's pretty scary. So what we at Hashlock decided to do was lean in. Yeah, so one aspect of this is leaning in. The other aspect of this is we love marketing, and also our mission is to secure the industry. So how do we, when I say the word marketing, how do we let the most people know about our mission of securing the Web3 industry? Make something free that's insanely valuable. This tool is completely free that you're about to see. Now, when Hashlock first started, to get any audit, you're looking at $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 US plus, 2 to 3 weeks to audit any code. And it might, it's done by humans. And, humans are still better than this currently, but you're about to see something pretty amazing. So currently this is the homepage, aiaudit.hashlock.com. You literally go to the website, click on a smart contract. You can put multiple smart contracts in. This one just has one for an example. And you click, by the way, you make your little account down here. And then you click, submit.
Little sneak peek, Matt, will you?
Yeah. And so, sorry.
Oh, you go.
I was going to say, like Fletcher was saying, so usually this process can take, to get an audit. So this tool isn't designed to replace us and what we do. This is meant to be like a potential vulnerability analysis. So as you're building things out, without having to go through the process of, engaging with a firm like Hashlock or any other competitor to get an audit, you can pretty much see in minutes any sort of vulnerabilities that are within your code. And so we're seeing this as a tool. We sort of want to democratize security for the entire industry. We see it as a massive barrier to entry to everyone getting into the space, that, you can't launch something without getting an audit. And you still can't, but we want to make sure that hopefully as we keep building this tool, we can move towards a future that is giving security to the entire industry.
Guys, sorry, Fletch, what's the size of like that file? Like what sort of amount of data is that running over right now? Just to give us an idea, because it takes a couple of minutes.
Yeah, beautiful question. This one is 13 kilobytes.
Only 13 kilobytes, yeah, okay.
But it's not, so don't think so much about the size. It's about how careful of analysis this does. So you can come to this page to see this one's processing, and this is one that we did before. By the way, before we show you, the results page is the crazy thing. We shout out to Labris. We built this with Labris, who's based in Brisbane, building collaboration with Labris. Now let me show you the results page. The other one will be ready in literally seconds. So this was all just done by artificial intelligence. No humans involved, and for free. This is just the overview. Now wait for it, right? Just wait for it. It's true, right? Front-running vulnerability in audit execution. You're like, okay, it's found something. But wait, there's more. Full-on code analysis. It fixes with custom comment instructions. Code POCs. Like, guys, this is the fact that this is going to be free for everyone is going to, and we're going to continue to improve it. This has been in development for 4 to 5 weeks. So imagine when we continue to build it out over the next year or 2 years.
Yes, thank you. I think we've always said as well, like in terms of like how we've leaned into the AI revolution, it's always been, I guess, robot versus human. We've been pretty aligned with these tools can just be used in the arsenal to help humans do a better job. And so, but it was the stepping stone between, at the end of the day, we want to promote it so that it's not just us that has to do that. So creating it as user-friendly as possible. And we have a bunch of custom-tuned LLMs, as well as our data set that we've got, thousands of projects with niche vulnerabilities that we've found integrated into this to ensure that this just isn't a tool that is, essentially something like ChatGPT where you can upload your contract and try and give it a scan. This is finely tuned in a way that it essentially, in our opinion, should be one of the coolest auditing tools available in the market.
So it's Solidity only. Sorry, Fletcher again. Solidity at the moment, but I'm assuming there are plans to add other languages, other chains into the mix. Are there any questions on this? I'm wondering if Herman Gayan. Oh, Rachel, our friend from AUDD.
And just quickly to answer Matt's question, yes. So Rust is next in probably 2 to 3 weeks, and then from there we'll go from there.
I was gonna maybe should have asked this after beers, but have you thought about the ability for criminals to use this to find highlights to exploit?
Of course. So we've had to do a bunch of research into actually building a tool. The thing is, it's just an scan tool. And so these already exist. All of our competitors have, not as good as this, of course, but audit tools. The only difference is this has artificial intelligence. So yeah, it is a problem, but we hope that by targeting the marketing of it towards security researchers, that it will protect more people than it hurts. And you have to make it account so we know who you are and everything as well. It's a good point.
Exactly, yeah. There's nothing, at the moment, you do have to do a little bit of doxing before you use the tool. So, for example, if someone was to come in and scan something that's currently live, we would, I guess, have information on who it is that did that. But that's sort of something we thought there might be some live contracts that could be affected. But in terms of giving this tool out so that people in the future aren't affected, we thought that was sort of the lesser of two evils.
Hi. Yeah. I know that when people do IT audit, they use different frameworks. For example, COBIT is one of those. When you do this crypto and this kind of things, is there any frameworks that you guys use or not use? And what's the take on that? How mature is that framework market when it comes to these kind of audits?
Yeah, so compared to Web 2, there's less in the terms of standards and frameworks, but they do exist, but not a heap of them are globally accepted. What is more accepted is one, Open Zeppelin, technically our competitor actually has created a list of contracts that most people build on. That's one. And then number two, the standard is what audit firms and security firms you work with. So when you launch a protocol, people are going to ask you, who did you audit with? And the name and the quality of the firm is essentially the standard that's applied to you. Because it's hard to keep up with standards and check this, or check this when each new vulnerability is unique. Each new protocol has unique vulnerabilities in it. So,
Sorry, me again. This one's actually for Tom. And because I was kind of listening to your kind of implementation processes and stuff like that, and that's something I've been doing quite a bit of recently. And the nice thing about accounting is that obviously you have the ability to do a lot of checks and balances, right? So you can use AI to implement quite a lot of flows and things like that, especially because, like you say, we're basically recreating a system that's already been built, but there's nothing, bespoke yet. So do you have any kind of tips and tricks and stuff like that? I've been playing around with quite a few different models and such.
I'll stand in the middle. I'll be the right here. There we go. Yeah, well, to be honest, it has been a struggle coming from that tight-knit, solid programs that you use, and our accounting system that we use is Xero. So,
yay!
Yeah, we use Xero. We will talk.
You also should use AUDD, so you don't have to do as much exchange. Because if you have an Australian-based nominated stablecoin,
might have a bit of a chat after this.
it'll make your headaches all go away.
But yeah, definitely, it's tricky. We've had to sort of come up with our own sort of strategies to make sure we're tracking everything, keeping on top of it, not only stuff coming in, but also going out. Having to track all those transactions is difficult, but it's taken a bit of time, but we're quite on top of it now, and we are sort of building an internal software that's going to definitely help us with payments and being able to get data to zero.
You obviously have data all over the place, you know, pulling across different blockchains and things like that. What data pull it into, like BigQuery or like, you know, classic Excel, or like down to the detail, like how are you pulling it together?
We use Notion.
Yeah, a lot of it gets pulled into Notion with different agentic layers, but we currently are using, like we have a proprietary internal tool that we're using to sort of aggregate all the data off-site.
Maybe you should sell that too.
Well, the thing that is funny is that we've actually built tools for ages, and we've never really released them because we're pretty, you know, big about being our own biggest critics. So this other internal tool, it integrates with our cold storage solution, and the idea is that it allows us to sort of dashboard it in a unique and effective way that traditional accountants can still come in and not be so, you know, in the deep end.
Definitely. One of my biggest things was how do we account for gas fees? It was one of the trickiest things that I came across, because sometimes it's included in the price, sometimes it's not, depends who you use, and being able to go back and track what gas you paid is quite difficult sometimes. And so what we're building, it's going to have something to track our gas and stuff like that. So it is going to be quite a good tool. And if we build it to the ability where we can integrate it with anybody else, I'm sure we'll toss it your way.
Yes, please.
Definitely.